Welcome to another FasTrax webinar. Webinars are weekly events held on Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. To get to the webinars, you can go to our website at goftx.com. Go over to the FTX Lifeline link. Then if you'll scroll about halfway down the page, we'll get to the webinar section. From here, you'll have the ability to subscribe so you can get notified of upcoming webinars. You can also register for webinars that are coming up, and you can also view previous webinars. So today we are doing logins and permissions in Warehouse. So to get started, we're going to go ahead and bring up our Warehouse software. And for logins, we're going to go to Maintenance. About 3/4 of the way across the top, we have logins. So as you can see right now, I have a default user. And we have pretty much right permission on everything. If we just look at the details here, we have the name. Password is hidden with asterisks, but this is where their password is entered. If they're active, if they are an admin or not, if they can delete an order, are they a pick admin? Meaning if you're using a pick method where it's like a guided pick and it's the handheld's telling them to pick a certain order, being a pick admin would give you the ability to override the pick that the handheld is telling them to do and give them a different order to go pick. You can allow them to do restrict picks. These are going to be picks that are basically they're pre-books where you can restrict pre-books, and only people that have restrict picks checked would be able to pick those items. Or I'm sorry, those orders. We have a hyperlink here for pick groups. So if we click on it, we can see what pick groups this user can actually use. So they can pick everything. If we was to go in and say they could only do cigarettes, then that would be the only thing they could pick would be orders that were just cigarettes. And we have all of our settings here is what permissions they have within Warehouse. They have read, write, or none. So read means they would be able to access this section of Warehouse. They can read the information, but they cannot make any changes to it. Write means they would have full control. They could, add new items or new orders. In this case, would be in purchasing. Or none, which would mean they cannot access that section at all. And that are the options that we have across the board here. We have an option to where if you are doing stamps, is this person able to check stamps out or not? Are they somebody that you will let go get stamps and bring back out to the floor? And we also have an option to disable director integration for this person. So maybe you don't want this person to be able to create something in Warehouse and send that over to the retail side, or make a change to an item and send it to retail. You can disable them from having director integration here. So that's the login for the Warehouse part. Then we have handheld permissions. We allow them to pick orders. Can they do guided picks, create orders? Can they actually close an order on the handheld? Can they do returns? Allow guided pick admin means that they can go in and give somebody permission to do another pick instead of what set for them to do now. Can they do pending transfers, purchases? Are they able to get into inventory, price book? So it's just kind of general settings across the board here. We can actually make it to where they can't see the price on items, or they don't see the cost. So let's go in and actually create a new login. So to do that, login details, we'll just go to add login. And let's just call this one, we'll just call it Warehouse Picker. Give them a password. They're going to be active. We're not going to give them admin because they're just going to be a picker. So they're not going to have permissions to do hardly anything here. They don't need to delete the order. We're not going to let them be a pick admin, and they're not going to be able to do restrict picks either. As you can see right now, pick groups is not highlighted where I can select that. I would have to actually save the new login first, and then I can go assign pick groups to it. Let's see, for permissions, we're going to go in purchasing. They do not need that. They do not need access maintenance. Don't need web integrations. Since they're going to be a picker, they probably would not be receiving. They don't need reports. They do need inventory because we're going to allow them to go in and do picks, so they do need to be able to access the inventory section. They probably don't need inventory reports though. Not going to give them permission for the price book or sales reports. They don't need billing or other reports either. So the only permission I'm really giving them right to is just inventory. Now in price book, I can give them read permission, so they can read. They can like look up an item, but they can't make any changes to it. Let's just give them read permission in maintenance as well. So as far as for the handheld, we're going to allow them to pick an order. They can do guided picks. Not going to let them do returns. I think that should be enough for their permissions for the handheld. So what I'll do is I'll save this login. Now I have a warehouse picker. So to edit it, now I can actually select pick groups for them. So if I wanted this picker to be only cigarettes, now they can only pick cigarettes here. Let's take a look at what the login would look like for this particular user, since they can only read maintenance and read price book, and they have write permission in inventory. I'm going to change to my warehouse picker. Alright, so here's the warehouse picker's login. It tells us down here at the bottom, current users, the warehouse picker. So right off the bat, we can see accounting is grayed out. I cannot click on that one. So if we look at item maintenance, we did give them options to be able to view. So I can pull up the item here, but if you notice, I can't save the item, and I can't add an item. I can only look at things in price book. Under reports, I pretty much did not give them any options for reports. Most of our reports are grayed out for them here. Same thing in maintenance. If we look at it, you notice I cannot edit an account. I can't archive an account. Can't save an account. Again, we only have read permissions here. Now within inventory, we had write permissions. So as a picker, I can come in and create a new order. And add items to the order. In which case I could still come in here and I could pick manually, or I would have the option to be able to go to the handheld and pick with the handheld as well. With login and permissions here, this is a good way to kind of keep control of what each user can access and what they cannot. A good way to kind of manage. It can help cut down on theft and things of that nature, because if they don't have access to do certain things with the warehouse software, then that opportunity is taken away from them. So you can kind of lock it down to where only certain people have certain permissions. Basically, you just want to give them enough to be able to do their job. You don't really want to give them full access to everything. Alright, so that pretty much covers logins and permissions within the warehouse software. I hope you learned something today. And just as a reminder, all of our webinars are uploaded to the website after we're completed with them. And you can just go to the goftx.com, go to Lifeline, and when you go to the webinar section, you can view the recording. You guys have a great weekend. And again, if you have any questions over today's webinar or any past webinars, you can always reach out to support, and they would be more than happy to assist you with any questions that you may have. Thank you, and have a good day.